We're back in action. Somebody's just came in. I live in a well, this is a residence lounge of where I live, and there's a few of these rooms, but somebody's just came in and told me I look really good with makeup because he doesn't see me much without, oh God, my Lyme brain doesn't see me with makeup on a lot. And he came in and he's like, oh wow, and then kind of dug himself a hole trying to get out of it. It was hilarious. I've been out of action for, I think, what are we in now? End of January, December, I'd say about a month. I've been out of action for about a month. I started up the YouTube at the end of last year, but then life got in the way. My dad got really sick and he's got no family because he separated with my mum when I was little, so I had him to look after, and yeah, it was touch and go for a while. So it was just really stressful dealing with that. So that kind of got in the way. I'm not saying it got in the way because that sounds a bit mean. I was doing Vlogmas, and then I think I did one or two of Vlogmas, and then I had to stop and take a while off, and this is me just getting around to it again. I thought it would be a good idea, so I've been thinking over Christmas and stuff about where I want my YouTube to go and what I want to do in it, and I would love to be like a fashion kind of girl and like do fashion hauls and all that kind of stuff, but it's so hard when you don't have the money, and I don't know how other bloggers and influencers do it in the start, whether they have the money to spend a fortune on clothes to try and make those videos and stuff. And I just thought, at the same time, I don't want to be buying clothes left, right and centre just to make videos for people on that I don't even know on YouTube or Instagram and stuff, and then me being out of pocket and stressing out about photography and outfits. And it's also that fast fashion thing. I agree with them, they need to crack down on that. So if I'm buying clothes just to make videos and I'm not wearing them, it's an absolute waste. So I think I can just tag my outfits as we go, and it is what it is, but that's not going to be my main focus. So I thought, oh, what else can I do? I think it would be a good idea if I kind of touch base with you all, because some of you have followed me for a while on Instagram, and some of you will be new people following me on YouTube, or even just new people on Instagram that don't really know my story. It is all on my blog, but my blog's like lost in cyberspace. I don't know where it is, I don't know what's happened. I'm trying to figure it out, but I think it's been offline for about a month, maybe 2 months. So I'm trying to find that, or maybe my husband has to find that, because I'm not really into all the computer kind of stuff. So once that's up and running, then you can all kind of get back to reading them, and maybe I should write more in the start of my Lyme disease journey. I don't even know if this is my brain, my Lyme brain. I don't even know, like 2 minutes ago, if I told you what I was going to blog about. Okay, so someone else just came in and had a massive chat, so now I'm totally distracted. That's the problem about living somewhere like this. Well, it's not a problem, it's really nice. It's like a little villagey feel, and you get to know everyone. But when I come out to make a YouTube video, everybody's in and out asking what I'm doing and stuff. It's funny, they're at the door now. Anyway, I thought it would be a good idea today to kind of, I think I've said this, touch base with you all and talk about my Lyme disease story. As I said earlier, it is on my blog, but my blog is lost in space, so I need to try and find that. Don't really know how to go about it. I guess I just start back last year. A lot of you know that I had to kind of chase a diagnosis, and I was having trouble with the healthcare system here, which is the NHS. Managed to get a diagnosis about 5 months ago with a private health care clinic. That's the people at the door again. With a private healthcare clinic, got all the blood tests done and stuff. It cost me an absolute arm and a leg to get all the blood tests that I needed. And then I got the positive blood test for Lyme disease, and I also tested positive for a few other things, sort of something to do with pneumonia in my lungs. So I think that's why I was struggling so much to cycle. Like, my lungs are really damaged. So then from there, it was trying to draw up a plan of supplements, natural supplements. Couldn't go down the route of antibiotics, because I have what you call late stage Lyme, which is really hard to treat with antibiotics unless it's IV antibiotics. So I think if you get, well, I mean, I know I'm just really hard trying to get my thoughts out. This is another like Lyme disease symptom. It's like brain fog. You just can't think about putting your words and spitting them out, and half the time I don't even make sense. Trying to make a YouTube video makes it really hard, trying to tell you all the story and how it goes and what's happened, and you'll just have to bear with me. So acute Lyme disease is when it's kind of just happened. If you go to the doctor then and then you get your 4 weeks or 5 weeks antibiotics, the chances are you'll get rid of it and you'll get a clear test after that. But if it's left any longer than kind of a year, 2 years, it kind of goes to late stage Lyme, chronic Lyme disease, which a lot of the doctors don't believe is a real thing, but it really is. And then once it gets to that point, it's really, really hard to treat with antibiotics. As I said, IV antibiotics long term seems to be a way that a lot of the private clinics treat. But then a lot of the private clinics don't agree with the long-term antibiotics, and they like to treat with natural supplements. And that's the route I went down, the natural supplement route. I've been on them, I was on them for, I have no idea what to say, how to say that. I've been on them about, I'd say about 2 months, 3 months. It's costing me a lot of money. I think it's about £300 a month. And that's me doing the cheapest option. It would be a lot more if I kind of got the they said 3 or 4 IV treatments a month, which is not IV antibiotics, it was IV kind of drips, which is full of vitamins and minerals and stuff, but they're like £195 a go, so it would cost me about £800 or £900 a month only on the IVs. And with the supplements that I'm only on kind of half of what I'm meant to be on, because I think £300 or £400 a month is my limit for paying for supplements. Because I mean, I live in central London. It's like I've got rent to pay, I've got bills to pay, I've got travel to pay. I need money to live basically. Like I've got a husband, but I can't tell him to pay for my lifestyle. My family can't help me financially, so I have to take and pay for what I can afford, and that's all I can afford at the moment. And even that is kind of at a push, because I had to drop my hours at work because I was struggling with the full-time hours. So 2 or 3 months into my treatment, my thoughts are, I think they are definitely helping. A lot of my symptoms have kind of vanished, but I'm in a real predicament now because the last kind of 2 or 3 weeks I've kind of stopped taking them. Yeah, I stopped taking them, which is a bit naughty of me, but seeing all that money going out my bank every week and really, 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 really putting stress on me to pay that money every month. I was just constantly stressed out 24/7 about money. And that's why I'm in a bit of a predicament. It's like I pay all this money to try and bend over backwards paying for all these supplements, which puts stress on me, and then stressing me about money. But then I came off them about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's given me more money to just get out and about, to, you know, treat myself to a new pair of trainers, buy myself some gym kit. But now I think I can feel my symptoms just slowly starting to creep back in again. So it does show that they were working. Like my fatigue is on another level at the moment. I'm finding I have less and less energy as the days go on. So today I was out the house for about an hour, and that was enough. So I'm now like, oh shit, am I gonna have to start paying all this money again for the supplements? But another reason I kind of stopped as well, I'm waiting to see 2 specialists. I'm waiting to see an oral specialist, and I'm waiting to see, what's the other one? An ENT specialist, ear, nose and throat specialist. Because when I got my blood tests and stuff and started the treatment, and it was going good with all the supplements that I was on, the lady treating me for Lyme said it might be an idea to go get your nose checked out, and because I'm just getting a lot of right-sided symptoms, and a lot of them are in this kind of area. So like the right side of my nose I can't breathe through, this right eye keeps swelling up, I keep getting ear infections in this ear, and I keep losing the hearing. My jaw on this side is really, really sore. I'm struggling to eat most days. It's painful every time I kind of chew. And then I also get really bad pains in the right side of my chest and down my arm, and for some reason my right wrist. And I've had that x-rayed, I've had physio. They can't see anything wrong with my wrist, so it's all right-sided. And she said it might be a good idea to get checked one by the ENT to see if there's anything wrong with your nose, but she said mainly the oral specialist to see if I've got jawbone cavitations, which is like I've had a lot of work done on my teeth. I don't know if you can see, I've got about 6 fillings. I'm missing 4 teeth and I've got 1 crown. And from any of that work, you can get little cavitations in your jaw when the what would you call it, the hole from like getting a tooth out or something doesn't heal up, then it makes a little pocket, and then the bacterial infection can get in, which is Lyme disease. So the Lyme can actually get trapped. Oh, sorry, I'm sitting on the floor, it's getting a bit uncomfy. The Lyme can get trapped in these little cavitations, and then it can go straight into your bloodstream and it can make you seriously sick. And if you have got them, they need treated as soon as possible. So that's one other reason I kind of thought, oh, well, if I stop taking the tablets, because if I'm taking them to treat the Lyme, but it's the cavitations making me even worse, then I'm throwing all this money into treatment when something else could be, an underlying issue could be making my symptoms a lot worse. So I thought, oh, I might come off them for a bit, give me a bit of breather, find out if I've got cavitations, and find out what's wrong with my nose, and then kind of start it all up again. So that's how I'm in a bit of a catch-22 at the moment. I just don't know what's right and what's wrong. I don't know what to do. So it's stressing me out a little bit. But I've got an ENT appointment next week, so they'll be able to look up my nose and see what's going on there. And if that's fine, then I've got my oral specialist appointment in a couple of weeks. But by the time they send me for scans and x-rays and stuff, it's going to be like, I guess, in like a month or 2 down the line. So I just have to decide at the moment whether I need to start these supplements again and just throw all my money into it, just in case I have a massive relapse. But I think this year's going to be really up and down. I think there's going to be a lot of hospital appointments, a lot of doctor's appointments still. I thought I'd kind of got over that last year, but it's kind of spilled over into this year again. So it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster the next, I would say, 2 months anyway. That was me kind of filling you in on a nail. Oh, bugger. Never mind. What was I saying? That was me filling you in on the story anyway about what's been happening, what's gone on the last few months with my Lyme disease. You can tell that I've got definite brain fog, which means my brain just doesn't work. I thought I'd maybe just run you through some of the symptoms. I'm sure a few of you that are suffering from chronic illness can... I'm finding it hard to look at the camera. My eyes are darting around the room. My husband said that's a really bad habit I've got. My eyes are always like here, there and everywhere. I can't focus. I thought I would talk you through some of the symptoms, and some of you with chronic illness will have a lot of the same symptoms, going from what I've heard you all chatting about on Instagram and stuff. The brain fog's the what? Brain fog? Brain fog is the worst thing ever. I mean, it's quite funny sometimes, and my husband finds it quite funny, but deep down, when I think about it sometimes, I'm like, it's really, 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 really the worst thing ever. It's like having brain damage. I say, like, someone else. Jesus. It's like having the brain of a 3-year-old, that's what I say, and the body of like a 95-year-old. But having the brain of a 3-year-old isn't fun. I get muddled up really quickly. I've got long-term memory issues, short-term memory issues. I have a bit of a stammer. I can't think of things to say half the time, and it just takes me a long time to say what I'm actually thinking. That's one of the worst things, and I'm noticing that at work as well. Working with a women's fitness brand at the moment, and it's hard for me just because it's quite overwhelming. It's busy. There's clothes everywhere that need sorting out, and orders that need to go out, and that's when I find that it really, really points out the brain fog. I get stuff muddled up, and it's quite is hurtful the word? It's upsetting sometimes, and they're really understanding about it, and they try their best to kind of help me out and stuff. So yeah, the brain fog is the #1 thing that I struggle with. And then you've got the fatigue. The fatigue is unreal. So today I got out and about for about an hour, and that was enough for me. And it's the same at the weekends. I can do 2-3 hours on a good day, but on a bad day, I mean, I can go out for about an hour, go out for a little walk, grab a coffee, and then that's it. And that makes it really hard as well, because I can't make plans with friends. And if I do, I pray that my friends understand that sometimes I'm gonna have to cancel. It's just really unlucky if I have to cancel the same friend 2 or 3 times, but then you get kind of paranoid that they're gonna think, oh, well, she's always cancelling, I don't wanna meet her anymore, I don't want to invite her to things. And that is also a bit of a head fuck, as well as the brain fog, because you don't wanna let people down, but you don't wanna become a recluse. So I actually spend a lot of time with my husband, which probably isn't good for me. I mean, it's lovely, but it's good for me to be around my friends as well. So I'm finding that really hard, that sometimes I make plans and then I'm just so tired that sometimes I just don't have the energy to go out, and then I have to cancel. The other symptoms that are bothering me are all my kind of facial symptoms, which I've spoke to you about. That really, really affects me. It's my jaw pain and my nose that are the worst. My nose keeps me up all night. Just because I can't breathe through my nose at night. I get a really dry mouth, and then I kind of wake up every 2 or 3 hours needing a drink, so I'm getting like hardly any sleep, and on top of that I have to deal with insomnia from the Lyme disease. So there's just a whole load of symptoms going on at the moment that are just horrendous, and I wouldn't wish them upon anyone. That's it. I would say my other symptoms are pretty good. Well, pretty good, they're okay. Like a lot of my joint pains, muscle pains, they've all went away. My food sensitivities aren't too bad at the moment. I'm avoiding gluten, refined sugar. I'm meant to avoid caffeine, but I drink that. I'm meant to avoid dairy. I mean, I'm not really strict with my diet. I'm quite good. It's at the weekend I tend to, you know, have a cake which is full of like gluten and sugar, or I'll have a pizza which isn't great for you because it's got gluten and dairy. But I'm trying my best, and I think that's it for kind of my Lyme disease story at the moment. I think I've caught you all up to date. It's just a bit of a roller coaster at the moment. I don't know whether I'm coming or going with the paying for the healthcare, or sticking with our National Health Service, which is the NHS, and they can't really offer me much, so I've got no choice but to go private, but I'm struggling with all the private payments. So I'm not really in a good place at the moment, but I'm just trying to keep positive. It could be a lot worse. I could be bedbound. I could be majorly sick and never leave the house. So there is positives to take out of it all. It's just, it's really not like nice to live with. But I'm staying positive. I'm making sure I go in the gym maybe twice a week, 3 times if I'm lucky. That keeps me sane. That keeps my head from exploding. I'm still gutted I can't get on my bike, but I say to myself, well, as long as I'm in the gym and I'm doing a little bit of fitness, that's good enough for me. And then it's just, yeah, trying to keep positive, as in, you know, we will, hopefully we'll have a future without Lyme disease one day. It's just kind of, I don't know if I'm going to have a future without Lyme disease. It's just telling myself, you know, you will get through this, you will have a future and all that kind of stuff. And it's just, yeah, kind of just got to trick yourself, because if you just keep telling yourself, oh my God, I'm so sick, I'm never going to get better, I can't do this, can't go there, it's kind of like you'll make yourself even worse. So you're kind of in a bit of a dilemma, trying to tell yourself that you're fine and you'll get through it, and which is kind of a bit of a lie, it contradicts itself. But the mind's a powerful thing, so you maybe just need to kind of call its bluff and just try and get through it the best you can. I think I'll try and make another video in a month or 2 about the Lyme disease and keep you up to date, let you know what's happened with all my scans and x-rays, and if I actually do have jawbone cavitations. I'm pinning all my hopes on that, because if I don't have them, I'm screwed and we're back to square one as to I'm gonna need more treatment, stronger stuff, potentially IV antibiotics So I'm praying it doesn't come to that. So I'm just taking each day as it comes at the moment, because I don't want to think about all that at the moment. I'm just kind of counting down the days till I get this scan and see the oral specialist. Hope you all have a good day. Okay, and I'm probably going to go and have a cake, which I shouldn't be eating, and a coffee.